Hi folks! Think you know everything about cars, do you? Think you're all petrol heads because you can tell a Ferrari from a Fiat? Well, strap yourselves in because I'm about to take you for a spin through the wacky world of weird car facts. We're talking about the kind of stuff that'll make you spit out your tea or your beer or whatever it is you people drink these days. From crazy car features you won't believe exist to bizarre laws that'll have you scratching your head, get ready to have your automotive world turned upside down. Our journey begins in 1896, the dawn of motoring. Imagine a world without traffic lights or speed bumps. The open road was a lawless frontier, yet someone got the first speeding ticket. Walter Arnold, caught doing 8 miles per hour. The limit was 2 miles per hour in town. Faster to walk, honestly. Rules are rules, even baffling ones. Walter earned his place in history for his speeding. Now let's talk about innovation, or at least what passed for innovation back in the horse and cart days. You see, before modern cars existed, and long before Tesla was synonymous with electric dreams, there was Karl Benz. Yes, that Benz. In 1886, old Karl unveiled his masterpiece, the world's first gasoline-powered car. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sleek lines, roaring engine, 4 wheels gripping the road like a politician on a taxpayer-funded junket. Wrong. This contraption, my friends, had all the grace and sophistication of a drunken badger on roller skates. Why? Because it only had 3 wheels. Yes, the car that birthed an entire industry looked more like a child's tricycle than a proper motor car. But let's not be too hard on Karl. He was just getting started. And hey, at least he didn't get a speeding ticket for going 8 miles an hour, right? Now let's fast forward a bit, shall we? It's the early 1900s and the motor car is slowly shedding its image as a noisy, unreliable contraption. But there's one crucial element missing, something that would revolutionize driving, especially on those rainy days that plagued the British Isles. Enter Mary Anderson, a woman with a brilliant and, dare I say, practical mind. You see, Mary was tired of seeing drivers struggle to see through rain-splattered windscreens. So what did she do? She invented the windshield wiper, of course. Now you'd think this stroke of genius would be met with universal acclaim, wouldn't you? But no. The big car companies, those bastions of forward thinking, scoffed at her invention. "Drivers don't want to be bothered with moving wipers," they probably exclaimed, monocle popping out in disbelief. Thankfully, Mary persevered, and by 1916, windshield wipers were standard on most cars. So next time you're cruising through a downpour, give a nod to Mary Anderson, the woman who made driving in the rain bearable. Now, let's talk fuel, shall we? Petrol, diesel, electricity. We've got all sorts of ways to make our cars go vroom these days. But have you ever heard of a car that runs on coffee? Yes, you heard me right. Coffee. It sounds like something out of a Monty Python sketch, but it's absolutely true. A group of brilliant and slightly eccentric British engineers created a Volkswagen Scirocco that runs on, wait for it, coffee grounds. They call it the Car-puccino, because of course they do. Now, before you rush out to empty your local cafe's bins, there's a catch. The Car-puccino uses a process called gasification to convert those leftover coffee grounds into energy. And let's just say it's not the most efficient system. We're talking 56 cups of coffee per mile. So unless you've got a bottomless bank account and a caffeine addiction that would shame a colony of hyperactive squirrels, you're probably better off sticking to petrol. Right then, let's talk about police cars. Now, I've had my fair share of run-ins with the law, mostly for exceeding the speed limit by a smidgen, or a lot, depending on who you ask. But even I have to admit, there's something undeniably cool about a police car, especially when it's not chasing me down the motorway. And when it comes to cool police cars, Dubai wins, hands down. Forget your Ford Focuses and Vauxhall Astras. Dubai's police force has a fleet that would make a sultan blush. We're talking Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Aston Martins, the lot, and the crown jewel of this automotive treasure trove, a Bugatti Veyron. Yes, you heard me right. A Bugatti Veyron, capable of reaching a mind-boggling 253 miles per hour. Now, I'm not sure what criminal mastermind they're planning to catch with that, but it certainly sends a message, doesn't it? Break the law in Dubai and we'll chase you down in a car that costs more than your house. Amazing, right? Now, one of the supposed joys of modern motoring is the rise of electric and hybrid cars. They're quiet, they're efficient, they're, well, a bit boring to be honest. But it turns out that even the silence of these eco-warriors has a dark side. You see, some electric and hybrid cars are so quiet that they pose a danger to pedestrians, especially those who rely on sound to navigate the urban jungle. So, what's the solution? Artificial engine noise, of course. Yes, you read that right. Car manufacturers are now pumping fake engine noises into their cars to make them sound more like, well, cars. It's a bizarre twist of fate, isn't it? We spent decades trying to make cars quieter, and now we're adding noise back in. I suppose it's all in the name of safety, but it does seem a bit ironic, doesn't it? Still, it's better than the alternative. Pedestrians wandering into traffic because they can't hear a silent electric car approaching. Cleanliness is next to a fine? Now, for our next stop on this global tour of automotive absurdity, we're heading to Russia, a land of vodka, bears, and apparently a pathological fear of dirty cars. You see, in Moscow it's illegal to drive a dirty car. Yes, you heard me right. If your car is covered in mud, dust, or even just a few too many bird droppings, you could be slapped with a hefty fine. Now, I'm all for keeping things tidy, but this seems a bit excessive. Apparently the law is meant to keep the city looking spick and span, but I suspect it has more to do with lining the pockets of the local constabulary. Imagine that, getting pulled over and fined because your car is a bit dusty. You better make sure to keep your car clean in Moscow. Now, I've seen some pretty strange cars in my time. I've seen cars that can fly, cars that can swim, and cars that look like they were designed by a committee of blindfolded toddlers. But even I was surprised by the Splinter car. This four-wheeled oddity, built in 2008, is exactly what it sounds like. A car made entirely of wood. Yes, you heard me right. Wood. The frame, the body, even the dashboard. It's all wood, and not just any old plywood you'd find at your local DIY store. We're talking high-grade, sustainable wood, carefully crafted and shaped into a surprisingly sleek and aerodynamic machine. Now you might think a wooden car would be about as useful as a chocolate teapot, but you'd be wrong. The Splinter car is not only strong and lightweight, but it's also surprisingly fast. It just goes to show that with a bit of ingenuity, you can make a car out of practically anything. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be driving around in cars made of recycled newspapers or old tea bags. Now let's talk luxury. Not the kind of luxury that involves gold-plated faucets and diamond-encrusted gear knobs. No, I'm talking about the kind of luxury that only true connoisseurs of comfort can appreciate. Silence. And when it comes to silence, no one does it quite like Rolls-Royce. They've gone to extraordinary lengths to make sure their cars are as quiet as a tomb. But it turns out that even silence can be, well, a bit too silent. You want to hear absolutely nothing. No wind noise, no tire noise, no sound at all, except maybe the gentle ticking of a very expensive watch. Rolls-Royce engineers use fake rain and artificial road noise to ensure silence. It's obsessive, it's extravagant, it's Rolls-Royce. And finally, we come to the biggest, the boldest, the most ridiculously over-the-top car on our list, the American Dream limousine. This behemoth of a vehicle is not just a car, it's a statement. Stretching a mind-boggling 100 feet long, the American Dream is officially the longest car in the world. But it's not just about size, oh no, this automotive leviathan is packed with more features than you can shake a stick at. We're talking a hot tub, a swimming pool, a putting green, a helipad, the lot. It's basically a luxury hotel on wheels with enough room to host a small country. Built in 1986, the American Dream fell into disrepair over the years, but thankfully it was rescued and restored to its former glory in 2022. It's now a museum piece, a testament to American ingenuity, extravagance, and, well, love of all things big. So there you have it, 10 weird and wonderful car facts that prove the world of automobiles is never dull. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any bizarre car trivia of your own, don't be shy, share it with the group. Who knows, maybe your weird car fact will be featured in a future video. And if you enjoyed this wild ride through the wacky world of cars, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more weird facts, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on the next video.